Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7 back again, out in the van. It has been a hectic bloody week, but I thought I'd do a quick preview on the morning of the big match this evening. Obviously, Newcastle V Wolves, St James's Park. Finally, we are back at home after what feels like a bastard eternity. With away games and international breaks and so on and so forth. But yes, Newcastle put our undefeated Premier League 2022 record on the line as we take on Wolves. It's going to be a difficult game, no doubt about it, but a massive game, no doubt, ahead of us this evening. A win, and you've got to say that you can't see the other teams catching up the points total from who's below us in the relegation zone and stuff. We have to at least make sure we get something. Stop the rot. Yes, we have been away. Yes, we've had some difficult, tricky away matches. Stop the rot. Get at least a point. Aim for 3. They are missing 1 or 2 players this evening. But make no doubt about it, it will be a difficult game given the fact they've gone to Old Trafford, they've gone to Spurs, and they've beaten these teams away from home. They are tight generally, they don't give much away, and they have some really, really good players, a team who are looking to push on and to climb up the table and to break up the cartel, the monopoly of teams at the top of the Premier League, as we will do no doubt in future years. But Wolves will be difficult, but we've got to go there with confidence. We are at home. That should be different gravy. The war flag stuff, if you haven't seen it, check it out on Twitter. Flags all over the stadium, including where the owners sit, this evening. So all 4 sides of the ground going to be flags. It's going to look absolutely spectacular. No doubt after a month away, the noise will be spectacular as well. We need to be 100% behind the lads because it is a huge opportunity. We've got single figure games left. We've got the majority of games at St James's Park at home, and we need a win, 3 or 4 points. That is all that we need, to be 100%. I think we're safe now, to be honest, with the gap as it is, the wins as they are, the table as it's looking. But another win, another 3-4 points, and that should absolutely cement it. Looking at team news this evening, we are going to be missing a few grumblings, a few rumours about John Joe, but I'll park that to one side for the time being. I hope he is available. Because it could be the perfect game for him this evening under the floodlights at St James's Park. But Joe Willock has been nursing an injury for the past few weeks. He's touch and go. I think with Bruno Guimaraes pushing for his first start at home, I think it's the perfect opportunity to probably bench Joe Willock. He has got a knock. He is nursing something, so why take the risk at this stage? Let it recuperate, let it rest up. So I'd imagine Joe Willock will be at least on the bench this evening. I can't imagine him starting, but he is, he's not one who's not going to be involved, as is Colin Wilson, who's been going around with Matt Richesney around Newcastle on his bike. He is stepping up his fitness. He is getting closer all the time, but again, he isn't going to be able to play in this game, as well Kieran Trippier. He's not going to be available for this game, but again, they are getting closer, and from what Eddie said in his press conference yesterday, they are getting closer to a return. Obviously, Kieran Trippier more so than Colin Wilson, but what a fantastic lift it'll be for the team to be able to have those players and their services back very, very shortly. Apart from that, he spoke about Federico Fernandez. He is fit, but however, he still probably needs some more training under his belt before he can be thrown into the Premier League 4A. And I don't expect to see him involved this evening. Will he make changes? I think he touched on it yesterday that he wasn't happy with what he saw in the second half. The players weren't, the management weren't. Harsh words have been said. He's been a little bit different this week in training. I think there is a risk of players being taken out, and he spoke as well yesterday actually about the fact that these players, they are auditioning for the future for Newcastle. If they want to be part of it, then they need to pull the socks up. They need to be getting on with it. They need to be putting the performances in and doing the business on the pitch week in, week out. Otherwise, it's as cutthroat as they won't have a future at the club. So, given the pressure is on the players, given the fact of the capitulation in the second half against Spurs, given the training this week, the intensity, given the fact, we've got plenty of options to be able to change things around the pitch, apart from maybe striker. I do expect to see a performance, and I do expect a result tonight. That's not taking anything for granted against Wolves, because like I touched on before, they're a quality side. They are trying to do things the right way and everything. But, with the players they've got out, with the results that we've had recently, with us being within touch and distance of Premier League safety being 100% rubber stamped, they've simply just got to do it tonight. Be interesting to see how the defence lines up. Will Lascelles come back into it? Will he change formation? Will he go to three at the back? Will he play wing backs, or will he keep with the defence that has done so well up till recently? When we've had a few issues, haven't we? But there's also certain areas of the park where I really don't think we can change too much. I'm looking at up top. I thought Chris Wood didn't have his greatest game, shall we say, against Spurs. But, in previous games, despite only one goal, he has put himself about. He has put a shift in. He has been a focal point. So we just need to get back to that. No doubt in the Spurs game as well, you've got to take into consideration flying over to the other side of the world, playing in games, flying to the Middle East as well, I believe, playing games, coming back, being thrust straight back into it. There's no other option for Newcastle. So he was never going to be at his fullness, not with all those miles, not with all that travelling, etc., etc. It was always going to be difficult. Eddie spoke yesterday as well about Alan St-Maximin, spoke in glowing terms, best players that he's ever been able to work with, so on and so forth. And I think put a lot of people in the place and just hushed everybody down. If you look at the assists that he scored, the amount of times he's been involved in our goals, how crucial he is to the Newcastle machine. Yes, he hasn't been champagne. Yes, he hasn't been vintage recently, but he is a quality player, and in form is temporary, class is permanent, no doubt about it. He said he's looking for St-Maximin to get back to his fullness. He has had illness, he has had injuries, he is coming back from that. You can't expect him just to turn it on. He's not some sort of, adult male porn star where you can just bang, there you go type job. This is, an athlete. I don't know why I've gone down that route. Never mind. But, he spoke so glowingly. He said, he's not going to be sold. He is one of the players who we want to be able to, build around, to push forward. He is capable of going up levels, and that is what Newcastle want to do. So it makes sense to keep those players. Talk yesterday about Aston Villa, Wolves, Everton even interested in him. Eddie Howe's having absolutely fucking none of it, and rightfully so. We want to keep our better players. There is loads of players in that squad, and you're looking at the Dwight Gales of the world, I'm afraid to say. Players who need to be moved on, your Kieran Clarks, people who aren't even registered, need to be shifted out before we're looking at the likes of Alan St-Maximin, who's, he is our talisman. He is so unpredictable, but that's part of the charm for me. That's part of the charm. And I look back on previous players in a similar mould. They might have a bad game, they might have an off game, a couple of games, and then they'll pop up with some magic. You're talking about a Timuri Ketspire, you're talking about a Tino Asprilla, those sorts of players, little live wires who can change things and do magical stuff that other people can't. And it's that sort of thing that when you're in the ground watching, that's what you pay your admission for. You could sit at home, you could watch, you could support, you could do all that from there. But when you see little things like that, it, on top of the atmosphere and the camaraderie, the collective spirit, if you will, it's all of that you go to the games for. So yeah, let me know what you think the score is going to be later on today. I'll be making my way up, and in the meantime, take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.